After the 5th season, Miraculous Ladybug fans were left with a whirlwind of emotions as they witnessed the epic conclusion of Ladybug and Cat Noir's ongoing battle against Monarch. They lost all the Miraculouses, fought their adversary one-on-one numerous times, briefly gave their Miraculouses to new wielders, maintained a complicated love story, went their separate ways, and defeated their longtime adversary during a one-on-one battle, where Bug Noir learns the shocking truth about Gabriel Agreste. The events of the 5th season had lingering consequences, and fans could finally experience them after a long hiatus, thanks to Miraculous World London at the edge of time. The new special takes Marinette on an adventure throughout the past, as she and Bunnyx encounter the new wielder of the Butterfly Miraculous. Today's video will review everything that occurred during Miraculous World London.
They gave up! They finally realized there's no beating you! Yeah!
The special begins with a scene of Nuru begging Lila, now known as Cerise, not to follow through with her plans. He believes it is the end of all things as Cerise transforms into a villain capable of traveling through time using multiple wristwatches. The title sequence for the Miraculous World special begins, although this one shows Paris and Gabriel Agreste's statue unveiled during the epilogue of Recreation. The special then cuts to Bunnyx's burrow where 3 versions of Alex play chess with one another. The 3 versions include Marinette's present-day friend who received the Rabbit Miraculous in Evolution, her 25-year-old self who debuted in the 3rd season and has helped the heroes on numerous occasions, and her 70-year-old self who is much older and wiser than her predecessors. The scene implies that the current Miraculous wielders will keep their Miraculouses for decades, continuing to protect France from threats. The much older Bunnyx laments for beating them again, and the present-day Bunnyx threatens to look into the future to learn how to defeat her opponents. However, she's chastised for cheating and reminded not to interfere with history. The older Bunnyx requests another game before she and the middle-aged Bunnyx begin to fade from existence. While they claim to be out of time, neither appear afraid of the events unfolding, as they knew it would happen. They encourage their younger self to seek the solution, leaving her alone in the burrow. The remaining Bunnyx begins recounting history, watching through her portal as the events unfold as they should. She recounts crucial moments from Miraculous Ladybug's history, including the creation of Ladybug and Cat Noir, Marinette and Adrian's love story, and Gabriel Agreste's defeat. She claims everything is current and continues searching for the hitch in time leading to the end of their world as they know it. She then watches as Marinette awakes at night to witness the world ending before running out of footage to watch. Seeing the world end has Bunnyx claiming they're in a terrible situation. Meanwhile, the special takes the audience into the past, showing them the events after Gimme granted Gabriel's wish, resulting in his death. The scene opens with Bug Noir flying to London where Adrian and Kagami remain imprisoned. She frees Kagami first, and while watching a news broadcast about Monarch's defeat, they discuss Gabriel's fate and how Tomoe was his accomplice. Kagami offers to talk to her mother, believing she can convince her to change. Otherwise, Tomoe would have nothing to lose and would tell the world about Gabriel Agreste as Monarch. The 2 friends agree to bend the truth, refusing to let Adrian know who his father was. They then walk together to free Adrian, who is stopped at his door by his bodyguard who lets them inside his room. Adrian inquires about his father, and Marinette creates an elaborate story about how Monarch forced Gabriel and Tomoe to make the alliance rings for him, otherwise he would target their children. She explains that Monarch held Gabriel and Natalie hostage during their final battle and was too powerful for her to defeat, allowing him to take the Ladybug and Cat Miraculouses. However, Gabriel intervenes before Monarch can make his wish, choosing to make one of his own. Gabriel's supposed wish is to trade his and Monarch's lives for Natalie and Marinette, resulting in his death. When Bug Noir tries to comfort Adrian, he lashes out at her, claiming she must be wrong and that her magical ladybug should have fixed everything. He then regretfully claims that he could have saved his father had he not been locked away, alluding to Cat Noir's absence during the final battle. Kagami enters the room, pulling Adrian into her arms and comforting him while he cries. She coyly encourages Marinette to leave, noticing that her friend is about to fall apart and potentially risk her secret identity by trying to comfort Adrian again. After Monarch's defeat, Bug Noir returns to Paris, where she takes care of unfinished business. Firstly, she stops to speak with Natalie, who is alive and well. The pair embrace with Marinette detransforming before collapsing into Natalie's arms. Later, Bug Noir destroys the evidence of Gabriel's reign as Monarch, using her cataclysm on the crypt beneath their house, taking down Emily's coffin, the Kwame's holding containers, and the elevator. She later gives a press interview as Ladybug, telling the world that Gabriel was a hero who helped defeat Monarch and that she never learned her adversary's secret identity. Adrian and Kagami return home and are greeted by Natalie and Tomoe. Adrian begins to tear up and races into Natalie's arms, who holds him as Kagami departs with her mother. Adrian then realizes that Marinette is standing to the side, and the pair share a heartwarming embrace, comforting one another. Later, Marinette returns home and releases the Kwamis from her bag, allowing them to occupy her room again. She then takes the time to call Alya. Although their conversation can't be heard, Marinette smiles and laughs, insinuating that she's brushing off her experiences and telling Alya everything is okay. Once the call is over, Marinette finds her diary, staying awake late into the night to write down everything she experienced. When she gets ready for bed, she asks Tiki and Plag if she did the right thing, lying to Adrien and the rest of the world. Despite admitting her immense guilt, the Kwamis claim they don't have the power to know if she made the right decision, but encourage her to get some rest after their long day. However, Marinette awakes in the middle of the night to a blinding light. When she climbs onto her balcony, she witnesses the end of the world, as someone has stolen the Ladybug and Cat Miraculouses while she slept to make a wish with Gimme. Fortunately, before Marinette becomes destroyed forever, she's pulled into a burrow and saved by Bunnyx. Bunnyx explains the circumstances, and the pair devise a plan to find Marinette another Ladybug Miraculous. They go back in time to a moment from the first season when Marinette considered giving her Miraculous to Alya, believing she would make a better superhero. The present-day Marinette borrows the Ladybug Miraculous and uses it to become Chronobug, with a bright yellow and black suit. The two heroes then review the timeline, searching for the person who stole the Miraculouses. They discover someone who acts and moves like a ghost, sneaking into Marinette's bedroom and confiscating all the Miraculouses from her. Chronobug goes into the past to stop them, and the pair have a tense fight without waking the past version of Marinette. The villain manages to get outside, evading Chronobug and her lucky charm. However, Chronobug notices a purified Akuma flying through the air and determines their enemy is an Akumatized villain. Chronobug and Bunnyx return to their burrow, searching further into the past. They discover that the Akumatized villain was present when Marinette confronted Gabriel for the final time, allowing them to learn her secret identity. Marinette realizes that the Akumatized villain must also be the new wielder of the Butterfly Miraculous, as they're writing down everything they learn in a journal. The heroes continue watching the past unfold, witnessing Natalie take Bug Noir to the Kwamis and free them from captivity. With the Kwamis returning, the two talk about Adrien needing Natalie as a maternal figure, and agree not to tell him the truth about Gabriel. Marinette then claims that Ladybug will lie to the world, and everyone will only know the half-truth she gives them. Chronobug again engages with the Akumatized villain to prevent them from hearing her secret identity, but they escape to their lair. In their lair, Cerise's lair from the film's beginning, the villain picks up another watch to help them time travel to London, where they can watch Bug Noir release Adrien and Kagami. Meanwhile, Chronobug and Bunnyx deduce that the villains must have their Akuma stored elsewhere, and that their next stop would be London. However, Marinette lingers by the portal, showing her conversation with Natalie, listening to their choice to keep monumental secrets. Bunnyx reminds Chronobug that they still need to save the future, and they return to monitoring the timeline, rewatching the events in London. Chronobug realizes that the automatic light in the building was already on before she arrived, meaning the villain had watched her the entire time. Chronobug fights the villain in one of the spare containment rooms, calling them out for being the new Hawkmoth. Although Chronobug uses Burrow to gain the upper hand, she's nearly defeated by her enemy after summoning her lucky charm. Yet Chronobug desperately hatches a plan and receives the needed supplies from her bedroom. With Bunnyx's help, she returns to the previous fight to take the villain's notebook. Back in the burrow, she uses hand sanitizer to erase the villain's notes and writes falsified information before allowing the villain to return it. After the villain escapes, Chronobug and Bunnyx remain in an empty burrow, waiting to see if their plan succeeded. Meanwhile, Cerise returns to the present, where she reads her notebook. She becomes enraged when the note claims that Ladybug is Gabriel Agreste, which is impossible. She throws her table and Nuru across the room. Nuru celebrates her failure, causing her to snap fingers and paralyze the Kwami, so he falls to the floor. Back in the burrow, the timeline restores itself, bringing the older versions of Bunnyx back. Before Chronobug returns home, she asks if she made the right choice in lying to Adrien. All three versions of Bunnyx comfort her, claiming any decision she made would have consequences, and that all that matters is how she handles the repercussions. Chronobug releases her lucky charm, restoring the timeline and returning her to her bedroom, where she cheerfully wakes up beside Tiki and Plag. Later, Marinette redesigns the Miraculouses, planning to make them prettier and provide them with new upgrades. She tells the Kwamis that the new Butterfly Wielder is dangerous and will require a constant team of superheroes to defeat. The Kwamis celebrate the opportunity to live with their wielders full-time, although Bark voices her concerns about the possible dangers. The Kwamis and Marinette share an embrace, with Plag sitting off to the side glibly claiming the mood in the room is too sappy. Marinette returns his Miraculous, allowing Plag to return to Adrien, yet before he goes, he rushes back to hug Marinette farewell. Later, Ladybug sits on a rooftop before the Eiffel Tower. Cat Noir joins her. She asks if her fellow hero has ever kept a secret so heavy that it makes him want to cry and desire someone else's comfort. Cat Noir says he knows the feeling, and the pair fall into a tender hug. They voice their regrets and sorrows before Cat Noir reassures Ladybug that they'll recover the Butterfly Miraculous, working together like old times. Back in her lair, Cerise has recovered from her failure. She summons Nuru to transform her. The special ends with a narrow shot of the Dupang Chang bakery as Cerise claims she and Ladybug are now in a race of time to discover who will find who first. The final frame shows Marinette in her updated design and new animation style for the upcoming season, sleeping on her balcony after reading a book.
So, you really think you can outsmart me? Huh, Ladybug? We'll see who finds who first.
The 5th season of Miraculous Ladybug left fans with much to process after Ladybug and Cat Noir endured the final chapter of their conflict with Monarch. The events of the season had a lasting impact, and the recent special Miraculous World London provided an exciting continuation of the story, delving into the past and introducing new elements to the narrative. Fans eagerly awaited the outcome of Marinette's final confrontation with Monarch, and the special has perfectly set the stage for the 6th season, which will be released later in the fall. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications to stay updated on our uploads.